You can all see the area does remain taped off and there is still plenty of law enforcement here. Now, the scene is being processed and that is why the highway had to be shut down in both directions. Water has gone down and in the past hour, I have seen dozens of cars driving all the way through just like you're seeing right now. Guardsmen tell me for now the main focus is to help homeowners prepare for these floods, but once the river has crested, they'll use these trucks to rescue people who have been stranded inside their homes. Well, Jonathan, as you mentioned, we just learned minutes ago a fifth body has been recovered. We don't know if it's a man or a woman. A spokesperson for the San Antonio Police Department tells me the body was recovered from the water and not inside a car, so they are not sure how many drivers are unaccounted for at this time. I spoke to state and federal lawmakers that represent Eagle Pass. While they don't agree on the state's takeover of Shelby Park, they do agree that the record-breaking number of migrants crossing into Texas needs to stop. The one-door, two-counselor tap house that is accessible is in the back of the building with no signage around it. To get to the front of the business, you have to walk around the building and walk through landscaping. If guests do make it to the front doors, they are immediately greeted by the sights and the sounds of the South Alamo construction project. That's right, Craig. The Little Rock Funeral Home has been providing free services for veterans who had no family for more than a decade. The owner tells me as long as his business is around, he'll make sure every veteran gets the proper burial they deserve.
Don't run, don't back down. Go forward, move forward until the mission is complete. Sergeant Russell's mission is complete.
Vietnam War veteran Vernon Russell was laid to rest Friday. He had no blood relatives, but was laid to rest with his brothers in arms at his side. The touching burial service was put on by the Little Rock Funeral Home.
I actually committed when I first opened the funeral home that I would take care of everybody, never turn anyone down.
Russell is one of the hundreds of unclaimed veterans that have been laid to rest at no cost by the Little Rock Funeral Home.
For many, many years, there wasn't any kind of funding at all. Just the last few years, there is some funding that goes towards the casket, but nothing for the services.
With very little funding for the services, owner Brad Leggett is left to absorb the cost.
We don't just have a funeral. We actually, we take care of them just as if they were paying us. We do the research on trying to find the family. We put something in the newspaper, have a chaplain there, have military honors. In some cases, we have the Patriot Guard that shows up.
Leggett says he pays for these funerals out of pocket because it's an honor to make sure these veterans are treated with dignity until the very end.
And being patriotic makes me feel really good. I get a great feeling for what we do. It's everything to me.
Leggett says he will continue to provide these services to the nation's heroes, no matter their circumstances.
All the veterans that we take care of, there's always a story behind each of them, and they're never really the same.
Leggett tells me he has never taken donations for these burial services and asks that anyone who does want to help make a donation to the Arkansas State Veterans Cemetery Beautification Foundation. Jonathan, I'm here at Leon Creek where we know at least one driver was swept away and is still missing. I spoke with his family members earlier who have been out here since yesterday morning looking for him. And just minutes ago, I spoke to San Antonio fire official who tells me their main focus is Leon Creek at this time. They also say it is possible there could be one other person in the creek.
Once they pulled the vehicle out and we saw that he was not in there, we still have hope that he's hopefully either in a hospital under a John Doe maybe, or even if he's around here, I just still have high hopes that he's alive and we will find him.
Martina Anderson is married to 43-year-old Derwin Anderson and has spent more than a day along Leon Creek looking for him. She says she last heard from him Thursday morning. He was headed to work on the access road of Highway 90 near South Callahan Road when he called to say he had driven into water.
He was in distress. He said that his car had went off into the creek he was actually going underwater. As he called us, he was shouting, I can't get out, I can't get out.
It was a similar story for Emiliano Tapia. He was driving on the same stretch of road and says the lack of lighting in the area made the water impossible to see. Before he knew it, Emiliano says the water was up to his windows, but he was able to get away.
By the time that I noticed that I was obviously floating away and it was starting to take my car, I want to say it was about to the window. And so I had opened up the car door and the water started to flood in. Basically from there, it was grab whatever was closest to me and try and swim out.
The desperate search for Derwin, Martinez says, feels unbearable, and she wishes it would have started sooner.
I would say up to 15 hours before we actually started having some action here. And I understand that the waters was very high at that point, and they could not get to the vehicles, but we should have had more crews out here.
Martinez says family members have been contacting nearby hospitals to see if Derwin has shown up. Within the last hour, Texas A&M Task Force 1 search and rescue team arrived to help look for him. Reporting live from the west side, Stephanie Esquivel, News 4, San Antonio. The man accused of shooting Jimmy is an undocumented immigrant. I pulled up his court records, and he had been booked to the Bexar County Jail at least 3 times since 2020, but he was never put on an immigration hold.
And they told me the extent of the injuries or what had happened. I just felt lost, hurt, empty. Scared.
Evangelina Borjan is the sister of 44-year-old Jimmy Friesian-Hahn and says May 4th she received a call that has permanently changed their lives. Jimmy was working security at El Patio Sports Bar on the southeast side when a man tried entering with a gun.
And so they got in a struggle and he fired the weapon at my brother.
Borjan is talking about 29-year-old Wilmer Vladimir Ortega Ruiz, an undocumented immigrant who she says shouldn't have been free because he has a criminal history and has been arrested multiple times.
Someone seriously failed at their job. To not think twice about issuing another bond, and a bond so low.
Borjan is blaming the Bexar County District Attorney's Office. I reached out to them to ask why Ortega Ruiz had not been previously put on an immigration hold. The DA's office did not answer my question, but sent a statement saying, since May 4, 2025, Mr. Ruiz Ortega has been in custody under an immigration hold. Our office has been in direct communication with the victim's family, and we are committed to keeping them informed as the case progresses. Borjan says no answer will help Jimmy's recovery.
His future is completely altered. He's paralyzed, he's got some shoulder movement and some bicep, no forearm or hand movement.
A spokesperson with the Bexar County District Attorney's Office tells me because the case is ongoing, they can't make any further comments. According to the court documents I pulled, a judge had granted Ortega Ruiz house arrest shortly after the shooting, but he hasn't been released yet. Reporting from downtown, Stephanie Esquivel, News 4, San Antonio.